Hello, welcome back to Financial Lit Storytelling. Today, we're learning about assets and liabilities. Let's begin. Evan used to think he was doing everything right. At 24, he had a job, a car, a credit card, a place to live, and a closet full of shoes he barely wore. When people asked how he was doing, he always said, "I'm good." And he meant it, at least on the surface. But deep down, something felt off. Every month his paycheck arrived like clockwork, and every month it vanished just as reliably. Rent, car payment, insurance, subscriptions, credit card minimums, food, gas, random online purchases he didn't even remember making. It felt like pouring water into a bucket with a hole in the bottom. One evening, Evan sat on his bed, scrolling through social media. People his age were posting about building wealth, investing, and financial freedom. Some of them seemed to be doing half as much work as he was, and living twice as well. He frowned. "How?" he whispered. That question stuck with him. A few days later, Evan met his older cousin Maya for coffee. She always seemed relaxed in a way that didn't come from money, but from understanding. She dressed simply, spoke calmly, and somehow never seemed stressed. "How are you really doing?" she asked. He hesitated. Then he sighed. "I feel like I'm working non-stop, but I'm not moving forward." Maya smiled softly. "That's because you might be carrying the wrong things." He raised an eyebrow. "What does that even mean?" She leaned forward. "Do you know the difference between an asset and a liability?" He laughed. "Yeah, kind of. Assets are good. Liabilities are bad." "That's not wrong," she said, "but it's incomplete." She reached into her bag and pulled out a small notebook. On the front, she had drawn a stick figure wearing a huge backpack. "This," she said, pointing, "is most people." She drew bricks inside the backpack. "These are liabilities." Then she drew balloons tied to the stick figure's waist. "These are assets." Evan stared at it. "Life," she continued, "feels heavy when your backpack is full of bricks and you have no balloons lifting you up." He chuckled. "That's poetic." "It's also accurate." That night, Evan couldn't stop thinking about that drawing. Bricks and balloons. So he Googled it, and what he learned quietly flipped his entire worldview. An asset is something that puts money into your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out. Not emotionally, not socially. Cash flow. Money in versus money out. He froze. He thought about his life. His car, cool, fast, expensive, took money out. His clothes, stylish, fun, depreciating, took money out. His phone, essential, impressive, draining monthly payments, took money out. His gaming subscriptions, entertaining, endless, took money out. He realized something uncomfortable. Almost everything he owned was a brick. He had been building a backpack, not a future. That realization stung. He felt embarrassed, not because he didn't know, but because he never questioned it. Why did no one teach this? Why did school never explain that wealth wasn't about how much you made, but how much your stuff made? Over the next few weeks, Evan started noticing things differently. He saw a man driving a beat-up car, but calmly reading in a cafe every morning. He saw a woman in luxury clothes arguing on the phone about late payments. He realized something wild. Appearance lied. Cash flow told the truth. One night, he wrote everything he owned on a piece of paper. Then he wrote 2 columns: assets, liabilities. At first, the asset column was almost empty, and that hurt. He felt like he had failed some invisible test he never knew he was taking. But then Maya's voice echoed in his mind. You can't fix what you don't see. So he didn't quit. He studied. He learned that an asset doesn't have to be fancy. A vending machine that makes $20 a day? Asset. A dividend-paying stock? Asset. A small online business? Asset. A rental room? Asset. A book that teaches you a high-income skill? Future asset. He also learned that something can look impressive, but still be a liability. A luxury car isn't an asset if it drains your paycheck. A big house isn't an asset if it stretches you thin. A business isn't an asset if it loses money every month. That one shocked him. Wait, he muttered, reading. A business can be a liability? Yes, if it costs more than it makes. That night, Evan felt something new. Not fear, clarity. He wasn't behind. He was just uninformed. And that meant he could change. He started small. He canceled subscriptions he barely used. He sold shoes he never wore. He stopped upgrading his phone just because a new one came out. And with the money he saved, he did something unfamiliar. He invested. Not big, not risky, just enough to begin. His first dividend payment was tiny, like embarrassingly tiny. But he stared at it like it was a miracle. That money arrived while he was asleep. No shift, no clocking in, no driving. Just movement. Upward. That was his first balloon. It didn't lift him high, but it lifted him. And once you feel lift, you never forget it. Over the next year, Evan made mistakes. He bought something thinking it was an asset, but it wasn't. He invested in a course that overpromised and underdelivered. He got excited too fast. He doubted himself. He almost quit. But then he'd remember the backpack. He wasn't trying to be rich. He was trying to be lighter. Every month he aimed to remove 1 brick and add 1 balloon. Slow. unsexy, powerful, and something changed. Not his bank account. Him. He became calmer, less impulsive, less impressed by shiny things, more impressed by quiet systems. He realized that real wealth doesn't shout. It whispers. One night, Evan and Maya sat on a rooftop watching the city glow. "I used to think rich people had more stuff," Evan said. Maya smiled. "Now? I think they have less weight." She nodded. "Exactly." Now let's pause the story for a moment and clearly break this down. An asset is anything that puts money into your pocket. A liability is anything that takes money out. That's it. That's the core rule. But society teaches a different definition. It teaches that status equals success, that ownership equals wealth, that looking rich is the same as being rich. It isn't. Assets generate income or appreciate over time. Examples: dividend-paying stocks, rental properties, profitable businesses, royalties, intellectual property, high-income skills, interest-bearing accounts. Liabilities cost you money every month. Examples: car payments, credit card debt, expensive phones, luxury items with no income, subscriptions, personal loans, lifestyle inflation. Important note: something can be useful and still be a liability. That doesn't make it bad. It just makes it honest. As of 2026, this definition still holds true in every serious financial framework. What changes lives isn't how much you earn. It's how much of what you own works for you. Most people build lifestyles. The wealthy build systems. That's the difference. Evan didn't become rich, but he became free in a way that mattered. He stopped feeling trapped. He stopped feeling confused. He started feeling intentional. And that changed everything. Because once you understand assets and liabilities, you stop asking, "How can I make more?" And you start asking, "How can I make my money move without me?" That's when the game changes. Thank you for listening to Financial Lit Storytelling. If this story helped you see assets and liabilities differently, I'm glad you were here. Do you have any experience with assets or liabilities in your own life? Leave a comment below and share what you learned.